Welcome back to ReZero Anime Review, episode number 28. This I'm reviewing the 40th episode of the anime. Yes, the 40th. And this is the first time this series actually has two titles. Yep, episode 40 is known as Otto Swan / The Reason to Believe. Yes, this is kind of a two-half episode that runs for about 28 minutes. It's actually a minute shorter than last week's episode. Yeah, it's quite interesting though. Last week was like almost close to that 30-minute mark. This one's like a minute shorter. The first episode it picks up, it's all focused on Otto. That's what the whole first half is based on. So we first see Otto pick up where last week's episode left off, where he basically is talking to Garfield, and apparently he has an argument and tries to find him. He takes away Garfield's crystal. Then of course, he starts running away, and then we see a flashback of Otto's child, basically like a flashback of Otto, like when he was younger. That apparently he could talk to animals, and he got a little bit older. And at one point, when he summons these particular bugs that he apparently is fond of talking to, they apparently cause sort of almost like a locust swarm. And then basically, when he was 15, he discovered, thanks to like some animals, this one woman who happened to be the daughter of the town's most powerful man, says, "Oh yeah, this is the 8th guy you've been with," and then he runs away. And then just by sheer coincidence, he starts his own merchant business, which he's actually pretty semi-successful with. And then he's captured by the Archbishop of Sloth. Yeah, I was surprised to see him this season. Yeah, especially since the guy is dead. He got ran over by Subaru last season with a freaking wagon. Yeah, so I'm sure Peppercorn will probably get a call for this episode when they dub this. After all, he is the regular voice actor for voicing this character, so I wouldn't be surprised. So you kind of say this is technically his first appearance in this particular season. We should all got captured by the witch's cult, freed by people who work for Anastasia. Well, I think it's Crouch. Yeah, it's her. No, it's not Crouch. It's Anastasia's two twin cat siblings and the giant wolf man. He's freed, and then we see that apparently he runs away while basically throwing various obstacles in Garfield's way. First is basically a hole where he traps him with the bugs. He gets away. He gets out. He chases him for a while and throws these little pepper bombs at him. After a while, then he tries to use the various animals on him. Then he starts bleeding. Yes, he starts bleeding. He's like, man, this is the first time this ever happened to me. Then he's like, oh yeah, basically it's been distracting you. And then Rem shows up, fights him for a while. I gotta say, this is actually, unlike the later times when it's shown when she's fight Garfield, she puts up a heck of a lot more better fight instead of basically almost completely one-sided. Probably because she's more prepared for this, unlike the last few times. Because of various cycles. Yeah, one thing I gotta like about this episode, no time Subaru basically dying. Because he's trying to make sure he doesn't die this time. So takes him on for a while, and then we cut to Subaru, where it's like, okay, we kind of look like this. You could say this before the ending of last week's episode, where Subaru basically, okay, Otto's basically done his thing, so he goes inside and he talks to Emilia, and he talks to her for the rest of the episode, and he lets it all out. Basically, that he confesses that he loves her, though she keeps calling him a liar, and they argue back and forth, and basically she has some sort of proof of the fact he loves her. So he does it by kissing her on the lips. Which I was like, yay, that's fantastic. Got a chance to make out with a woman he loves. And after a while, of course, she basically, when he's telling her he loved her, he loved every single bit about her. Her hair, her skin, her legs, her arms, everything. Even her absent-mindedness. But she kept calling him a liar because he basically broke her promise. He says, why'd you leave? I can't tell you that. Well, it's mainly due to what's going on here, trying to prevent her death. And, of course, what's going on in the mansion, which that's not here in this episode. Roswell's mentioned, but he's nowhere seeing this episode. So, after talking for a while, and, of course, they argue, and basically like a good couple, and the fact that, revealed that talk about basically her mom, how she's pouring to her, and Subaru remembers basically what his mother told him. Is, oh yeah, don't just talk about the woman I respect the most in the world, his mom, and his mom is awesome. Yep. And would it be interesting though if he brought Amelia with him to meet his parents? That would be interesting. Like, hi mom, hi dad. This is Amelia. She's half elf, and she's gonna live with us. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow basically that happened. And, oh yeah, I also brought this beautiful maid with me who also was in love with me. Yeah, and this is her sister. She's not in love with me. Yeah, imagine how you feel like basically having two girlfriends, or much less two wives. Yep. But this episode overall was really good. I really felt as though that they kept a lot. I would say they kept in pretty much everything. They kind of mixed and matched in here. Now, in case you're curious to what part of Book 13 they adapted from, they adapted from chapters 4 through 6. Which, that's something. Having 3 chapters in one episode. Because generally they do like 1 or 2 chapters per episode. This is the... they've done this before. Mostly they usually do 2.5. But I think for last week they did definitely finish up chapter 3. And this one they look like they went through... And then the scene itself between Subaru and Amelia, it is spot on how presented the actual light novel. Mm-hmm. So I would probably say that next week. Oh yeah, and by the way, after when they leave, then they confront about Garfield was covered in blood. Whose blood? I highly doubt it's Garfield and I highly doubt it was Rem and Otto because I don't think he killed him. Basically, they were just distracting him while he talks to Amelia. Yep, but this all in all. Great episode. Can't wait for next week's episode. Okay, so that's episode review. My next review, and this could be something I'm going to talk about this series, despite the fact it's not officially released yet, but I'm going to watch it anyways. The first episode of season 4 for the 7 Deadly Sins. Yes, I'm going to talk about this damn thing. Though it will be a while before... when the seasons, it probably won't be until, because the fact that, well, even though the series is starting up this month, the new season, the dub probably won't come out until probably July or August. Yeah, because Netflix takes their sweet time. They basically, instead of releasing stuff weekly like other streaming services does, this one first to release everything all at once. That's the way it is for their shows. Because they love the binge watching. Despite the fact no other streaming service does this, basically, when they release stuff. All the streaming services I've seen, Hulu, Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Disney. I'm sure Disney Plus is the same thing, along with other streaming services. They release stuff weekly. Not Netflix. Netflix prefers to release all of it at once. Because they love the bench watching stuff. Because they love all the viewership. Mm-hmm. Yep, so, until next review, which we'll be discussing 7 Days Ends. Bye.